Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Kent for Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Julie's in the kitchen making breakfast smoothies. What a day this is. We got some rain in central Indiana. To hell with it. We don't care. We're brought to you, as always, by the great people at Today's Dentistry. Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best dentist that there is. Call him. Make him your dentist today. 317-849-2933. Punch subscribe, hit like, ring the bell. Let's talk about sports. People always wonder where the breakfast is in Breakfast with Kent. Well, the breakfast is being made. You can hear it as we speak. All right, the Colts have decided to scrap their minicamp. No minicamp this year. Ryan Kelly, the player rep for the Colts, and Frank Reich, Chris Ballard got together and said, hey, there's got to be a better way to put together this offseason than what the NFL prescribes. You've got OTAs, and you've got the mandatory minicamp, which was going to come in mid to late June. Then training camp toward the end of July. It's kind of choppy. And what the guys decided to do was just put together a 2-week kind of real minicamp where the guys get together, and it's optional, but everybody's participating. And you work together for that period of time, and then you shut it down until training camp. You get about 8 weeks off to try to build your body back and get ready for the grind of that 17-game season. Sounds pretty smart to me. Sounds like these guys were very cooperative and negotiated through this without any arrogance and with the sole intent of making this football team better and more competitive. That's the way you build a championship-level team. You do it with talent, too. But you do it with non-arrogant cooperation, and that is what the Indianapolis Colts, I think their foundational culture is non-arrogance, where all they want to do is win. Let's all pull on the same end of the rope and get this thing right. And let's get players in here who understand that pulling on the same end of the rope is really the way toward success for everyone. Heard from Ryan Kelly yesterday, heard from Frank Reich, discuss how this came together, discuss what they're doing during this 2-week period of time in trying to build harmony within the roster, get the new guys acclimated to professional football, get the old guys who have come in, guys like Eric Fisher, despite the fact that he's still rehabbing that Achilles, Carson Wentz, all these guys kind of to feel like they're a fabric of the team so that when they snap it for real in September, this is a unit ready to play like this and not like this. Let's talk about Indiana basketball. They got another commitment yesterday from a transfer named Michael Durr. Michael Durr is a 7-footer, 250 pounds, runs the floor hard. I don't think he's terribly quick, but he moves, he sprints in transition, both toward the offensive end and the defensive end. Been a while since we've seen that in Bloomington. I think we're going to see a lot more of it with Mike Woodson as the coach. Mike Woodson means business. And if players don't mean business, they got to go take their business elsewhere. And I like that. There's got to be a consequence for student athletes not ready to compete 350 or 65 days a year. If you're not willing, and we talked about this yesterday, if you're not willing to see the experience of playing basketball at Indiana as an honor, then you don't get the honor of playing basketball at Indiana. And it's just that simple. I love it. You know what? There are 355 Division I programs or thereabouts. You don't want to play at Indiana, you don't have to play at Indiana. You don't want to pay the price to pay at Indiana, you don't have to do that. You can go to a bunch of other places and go play basketball. You want to pay the price to play at Indiana and succeed at the level that Mike Woodson's going to demand. You come to Indiana. Tamar Bates, decommitted from Texas. When Shaka Smart took the job at Marquette, he committed to Indiana. Xavier Johnson from Pitt committed to Indiana. And now you've got Michael Durr from South Florida by way of Virginia Tech, where he was for about 15 minutes, committing to Indiana. Indiana's scholarship count is at 13. They're ready to go. I love it. And the depth of this team is a little bit different than it's been in years past, where you've got bigs like Durr, you've got Trace Jackson Davis, who is a likely All-American this coming season, Race Thompson, Logan Duncombe. Those guys in the front court, On the wing, you've got guys like Tamar Bates, you've got Miller Kopp, you've got Jordan Geronimo, Parker Stewart. In the backcourt, you've got Xavier Johnson, Rob Finney, Christian Lander, Trey Galloway. This is a team with pieces that fit in different areas, multi-positional pieces, and looks like the kind of team that's going to be fun to watch play basketball at Indiana this coming season, which is a good thing because we're tired. I'm speaking for the fan base, tired of Indiana not making the NCAA tournament. That crap's got to end, and Indiana's got to start being competitive. And the student athletes who compete for Indiana have to understand that the price has got to be paid. If they're going to make the NCAA tournament and make a run in the NCAA tournament and compete for a championship in the Big Ten, which is the expectation of this program, you got to pay the price. You didn't come to Indiana for a haircut, right? To put it in John Lackey's terms, when he came to the Cubs in 2016 as a free agent. You come to Indiana to compete hard, win championships. It's not a country club. It's a place where basketball championships are won, or at least that used to be the case and hopefully will be the case again under Mike Woodson. Last night, a national championship was not won by Indiana soccer. They lost in overtime, 1-0. They had chances to score. So did Marshall during regulation. There was an especially egregious miss in the first half, a head ball on a corner kick. All the guy had to do was put his forehead on the ball, and it was going to carry him into the net. The net was wide open. Defensively, a tremendous lapse by Marshall, and Indiana just couldn't put the ball in the net. That's the way it goes. That's soccer. That's why we enjoy watching a game, because scoring is not easy. It's not like hitting a layup, for goodness sake. It's hard to score in soccer, and Indiana couldn't do it last night. They lose 1-0. They were going for their 9th national championship. They won their first in 1982. Since that time, they have been the cream of the crop in college soccer. They just couldn't get it done last night. The Pacers host Charlotte tonight in the play-in game. They hope that Malcolm Brogdon's able to go. He's got the hamstring. You know what? My goodness. If you're not going to play tonight, when are you going to play? They're going to play again until October. What is it? It's May. That's 5 months away. 5 months to heal. Get out there and play, for the love of God. Season on the line for the Indiana Pacers. If they lose tonight, they are out of the playoffs, and they move up in the lottery, and their prospects for a top 3 pick increase marginally. If they win tonight, then they've got to play the loser of the 7-8 game between Boston and Washington, I think. Right? Yeah, Washington and Boston are going to play in the other play-in game. The loser of that game would play the winner of the earlier game between Indiana and Charlotte for the 8th seed. So there you go. Best that the Pacers can do is the 8th seed. The 7th seed is going to be won by the team that wins tonight between Boston and Washington. It is so complicated, I feel compelled to explain it every single stinking morning. I hate it. I don't like complications. This has nothing to do. Whether it's the NCAA tournament and their stupid ass play-in stuff, with that first 4 or whatever in Dayton, it has nothing to do with finding the national champion. The national champion is always going to come from the top 32 teams, or at least it always has. If you're not a top 8 seed, 1 through 8, so those 32 teams, no team outside that has ever won the national championship, I don't believe. They've gotten to the Final Four, but they've not won the national championship. In the NBA, an 8 seed isn't going to win the championship. A 7 seed isn't going to win the championship. They almost never get out of the first round. Why a 9 and a 10 seed should be invited to this party, I have no idea. The Pacers have utterly zero chance of beating the top seed in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference. In the end, it's impossible. You can't win the game after game against that level of team if you're the Indiana Pacers with the injuries they've got. There's a reason that the Pacers would be the 10 seed, or the 9 seed. And in the East, once the playoff starts, the 8 seed. There's a reason. And that reason's a good one. The Pacers just aren't that good. Even when 100% healthy, they're not altogether that good. They're not a rival for the top seed, for goodness sake. I don't understand all this playing business. I don't know what the point is other than more basketball. And I guess more basketball's good. So why complain? Would we rather watch the Pacers tonight or not watch the Pacers tonight? I'd rather watch the Pacers tonight. So why am I complaining? For the love of God. Cubs won last night 7-3. They took on John Lester and Kyle Schwarber, former Cubs. Schwarber hit a bomb. Lester was taken deep by Hayward, Contreras, and Baez. Cubs, like I said, winners 7-3. Let's celebrate some birthdays on this Tuesday morning. Today, the last of the cool days. Gonna heat up. Gonna be hot this weekend. 88 degrees on Saturday. I cannot wait. I love sweating. But that's between you and me. Let's celebrate some birthdays. Keegan McCarthy, happy birthday. Mike Bender, Greg Winters, Gregory Nowak, happy birthday. Denise Jekyll, Jamie Sullivan, the great Jamie Sullivan, happy birthday. The great Chris Pruitt, financial advisor to the Stars. Chuck Lofton, weather advisor to the Stars. Thanks for what's coming later this week, Chuck. Not so much for what's coming today. Dave Wisnowski does a great job covering Chicago sports and Illinois sports. Caitlin Norman, among badasses in Lake Bluff when I was growing up, Caitlin Norman might have been the most fearsome of all the badasses in Lake Bluff. You didn't call her Kathy. You didn't call her Katie. She's Kate. Renee James, happy birthday. Ken Alexander, happy birthday. If today's your birthday, celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Today, Inside Indiana Sports Now, more stuff about the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll talk to Indianapolis Colts this afternoon. I cannot wait to talk to you then. Have a great day. Lift people up. Don't pull people down. Don't get mad at people and dog people out and make fun of people. Don't engage in mockery. Engage in complimentary behavior. Life's too tough not to have partners, right? Let's be partners for each other and lift people up. Let's do that. We'll talk to you this afternoon. Like I said, I can't wait.